So Maciej is going to give an update on the OpenLineage provider in Airflow, which is a very big deal. So we moved all the logic of the OpenLineage Airflow integration into an OpenLineage provider, moving all lineage coverage built in Airflow itself for the Airflow side of things, which is going to make it a lot easier to maintain and increase and so on. And so, sorry, Maciej, I'm trying not to. I should stop talking and let you talk about it.
Yeah, so can you move next slide? So first of all, it's released. So great. We are happy about it, but you can't use it yet. Sorry. So the issue is that the release is compatible only with Airflow 2.7, and Airflow 2.7 isn't yet released. Our provider depends on some small but meaningful changes into Airflow core. So we can wait a week or two. I think that's the actual timeline right now for Airflow, something close to that. And in 2.7, like if you want to use OpenLineage with Airflow, the recommended process would be to install this provider instead of OpenLineage Airflow library that is used right now and will be used for lower versions of Airflow. So regarding that, can I get next slide? Development, as Julian said, is happening right now in Airflow repo. So as we can see, we have merged a lot of PRs. This is like filtering by label. So you can see some are still open. We're working on next ones and, expanding the coverage, expanding what we can do there. And yeah, so what's in there? We cover not every, I have to say, not every operator that we covered in OpenLineage Airflow yet, but we are working to include them in the next release. Maybe because some of them are quite large and still this will be fixed, but giant majority of those extractors are covered right now in the Airflow operators itself. And this means that any change to the operator will be tested right now against those lineage methods. And then if somebody breaks OpenLineage by changing the operator in a way that was not compatible with it, he will have to fix it already. So the lineage just got more stable and it's also more easy to contribute for other people. So we have a lot of SQL-related operators which are very popular. We have GCP ones that also are very popular and differ slightly from the regular SQL ones. SageMaker, FTP, SFTP, and basic support for Python and Bash operators. Why basic? Because of something I will talk in a minute. And I think I copied too much from the other slide, and this next two lines shouldn't be there. So what we're going to do still, we are going to add more operators, of course. And there are some BigQuery operators, some transport operators, which Airflow has a lot, which basically just copy data from point to point, but this is obviously a lineage generating operation. More S3 support, and something that is, I invented the term when writing the slides, XCOM native operators. So there are some that operate on, in this case, the BigQuery data operator just gets data from BigQuery and puts it into XCOM, where can be used by other operators, especially Python operator, which can process the data using whatever code user defines. And so maybe I'll talk, or I can continue now. So the idea is that the data sets will be represented as OpenLineage data sets there. XCOMs will be represented in this way. And then if you refer to this data set in Python operator, it will be treated as reading the actual data set itself. So then we won't get like split lineage between one operator read the data and the second operator wrote the data somewhere, and between was this missing XCOM link. So we're aiming to get this fixed. And this is not like a promise that, hey, next release we'll have something. This is open source software development. And this means like any code we write is, it needs to be reviewed by other members of the community. And then the Apache release process with voting by PMCs. So this is not something that I can promise will happen next week or month from now. And we want to add also some things which I said core, because I think they might need to wait for Airflow release itself, but might not. It depends on development, right? What we find. So we want to add interfaces around OpenLineage implementing operators. And this is basically the idea around this is making easier to contribute OpenLineage support for people. So right now, I won't say it's hard, but it's not obvious how to add the methods, the operator. And this will mean that you have to mark the operator and then the actual code will be there. And the second is this dataset support, since maybe we'll need some core changes with XCOM. This is more advanced level support. And the third one is hook level lineage support, which kind of will look similar to what I said about Python operator, or at least what we want to be. And this means that if you use Python operator, which generally uses any code you want, you can use Airflow hooks to read, write data and transform it. And inside those hooks, we will capture the actual operations. And then at the end, the Airflow will capture the changes made by those hooks and expose it as its own lineage. So this means you can, like, in one operator, read data from BigQuery and send it to Snowflake, because why not? And this will get captured as an OpenLineage event. And this also, like, this doesn't mean we support all and the code you can write, but those using Airflow hooks. And yeah, if anyone has some questions or proposals or, you know, other things to add to this list, then we'll be happy to hear from you here on Slack or in GitHub issues.
Well, for the XCOM dataset support, it sounds like we need to add like this XCOM to the dataset naming convention, right? Like if we have like a standard naming like for those, then you can capture all that lineage. Actually, this is a great.
Maybe because like XCOM has different backends, right? So if you use something like S3 backend, I think we want to use like S3 naming.
That's correct,
right?
Yeah.
But this needs more development. It's just, I just indicated the direction that we will definitely look into.
Makes sense.
That's it.
Any question?
I had one. Also, really great to see hook level lineage support, because I think what we do see in the wild is there is a lot of use of Python operators, so it's very hard to extract metadata from just the code itself. I do have just a general question on sort of moving the project over to Airflow and maybe going into the importance of maintaining and the implementation of those operators. Like, maybe what are some of the benefits of moving a lot of this code over?
First benefit is that the lineage extraction is tied to the version of the operator. So if you want to like break something internally in operator that is purely an implementation detail of this operator, previously we could look at some property like this and you know, try to extract data from it. And then it got renamed, for example, and we had to check for both names, right? And And right now, when you change the name, you can change the extraction logic of Lineage, and the previous version will work the same because it's named the same in the previous version, and the new one will get new version, right? So this means, and third one is that, you know, this tested along the way. So first, you didn't know that you broke anything with Lineage, and you don't have to know because it wasn't part of the contract. Right now, we have tests that confirm that, you know, Lineage is well extracted. Another benefit, I would say, is that this development progresses along the operator development. So anyone can add new operator to Airflow and add the Lineage extraction in the same moment, in the same place. Yeah, for OpenLineage, it's important to have greater visibility, right? Also, some things couldn't happen without moving it to Airflow, without being able to change Airflow itself, like this hook level lineage support, right? So our previous integration could not extract any data from there because it's like an opaque, like using hooks is an opaque Python operation, right? We can do insane things like parse the basically the source code, get the hook, and you know it's impossible. Right now we can annotate hooks to capture what are they doing, right? And this is change that can't be monkey patched. If you want to be sane after the operation, you have to be able to write code in Airflow project as well. So I think there are like giant list of improvements that are, you know, achieved by moving to Airflow itself. And this is, you know, in line with, I think, original version ideology of OpenLineage, that producers expose Lineage themselves.
The main conference was ready.
Okay. Great. Thanks for sharing, Maciej.
Thank you.